New comic book day is upon us once again. Let's take a look at the books on the pull list. Welcome back to Comics Are Dope. I'm BJ Kicks, and this is the pull list. It's my weekly video series where I take a look at all the books coming out. I'm going to tell you what's on my pull list, what's on the chopping block, and I'll even tell you about some new number ones that are on the radar for this week of comic releases coming out Wednesday, June 12th, 2024. My vacation is over. I am back. I very much enjoyed my time out at the beach. We even saw like a wild horse tour. Really cool stuff going on. But anyway, now I'm in full effect getting ready for HeroesCon this weekend. But before that, I do have to stop by my local comic shop to grab my pull list from last week as well as this week. And this week, when I grab my books, the book that I'll be most excited to read is Dick Tracy, issue number 2 from Mad Cave Studios. This book kind of caught me by surprise. I shouldn't say it caught me by surprise. When I saw the solicit and that cover for issue 1, I was excited about it. I was like, okay, cool. I know of Dick Tracy. I've seen the name before. I've seen, the yellow jacket or whatever, but I didn't really know anything about Dick Tracy except that he was a detective. But I was okay, cool. Get on the ground floor of Dick Tracy. But I wasn't really expecting to be blown away by issue 1 in the way that I was. I mean, it's a mystery book. And for me, who used to love watching Law and Order and stuff like that, I'm always down for a good mystery. But basically when this reporter turns up dead, it's like, wait, why did this reporter turn up dead? Who's involved? And it's a pretty interesting mystery. I'm trying to remember if there were 2 people that died. One was a reporter and the other was, I believe, in the police department, but I can't really remember. So anyway, when issue 2 comes out, I'll get to kind of refresh my memory of what happened in issue 1. But what I really enjoyed about it was, besides the fact that it was a good mystery, I love the dialogue. It was a very snappy issue. The art and colors especially really did it for me. So I did try to look it up. The colorist is not listed here on League of Comic Geeks. So I don't know if it's Osmond or Englert or Campbell. I don't know who does what in this issue, besides the fact that Mike Morisi and Alex Segura are writing it and Geraldo Borges is on the art. But really cool stuff. Dick Tracy number 2 is out this week. Cover price on this one is $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And, interesting week when we get to start off with the indies. Always love that. Next up is Ain't No Grave, issue number 2. Ain't No Grave by Scotty Young and Jorge Corona. Basically, it's like a fantasy meets Western epic. This woman who basically gets some sort of a life-altering diagnosis. We can call it cancer. We can call it whatever. We don't really get a name for whatever she has. And she's like, look, I'm not about to die this sad and miserable death. If I'm going to go out, I'm going to go out fighting. And she decides to go on a quest to face death itself, which is some sort of mystical being, as we saw at the end of issue 1. So that's pretty interesting. I did say this was like a mesh between a Western and fantasy. Issue 1 was very heavy on fantasy elements, almost to the point where I was kind of taken away from it a bit, because fantasy and magic and stuff is not my bag. But the art in this book is amazing. I like the overall character. I believe her name is Jenny. Look at me not knowing anything about the pull list this week. Ryder. Her name is Ryder. Anyway, I like the voice of the character. I like that she's the old grizzled vet. She used to have one life. Now she has another life, but things are pulling her back. Sort of classic Western elements, with this fantasy motif on top. Enjoying it through one issue. Issue 2's out this week with a cover price of $3.99. Grabbing cover A. And we've now come to the first book on the chopping block this week, and that is Crocodile Black, issue number 2. Crocodile Black, written by Philip Kennedy Johnson. It's a creator-owned series, I believe, coming out through Boom Studios. And in last month's pull list, I was like, hey, this sounds like it could be similar to that premise of that Blown Away book where someone like witnesses a murder and has to like investigate. Turns out that's not quite what this is. I misread the solicit. What happens in issue one, there's this kid who's just kind of disaffected and just distant. We hear that he's supposed to be taking like medication for like, I don't know if it's social anxiety or what it is, but he gets stimulated by things too easily. Like, and so he can't watch too much TV, he can't watch like scary movies and things like that, or he shouldn't because it just does something to him. Well, he's going out on his job, like doing like medical supply deliveries, and witnesses a murder scene, and that kind of sparks something in his head where suddenly he's apparently going to be a serial killer. Not a bad book, and it's set during the pandemic, so like there's a lot of real world events happening in the book at the same time, and so you're dealing with like this kid who, you know, I can see some of the themes that are going to be worked out through here, and I do think they're interesting. Just overall, the book is a little bit dark for my taste, um, and and my pull list is stacked, and so I got to make cuts every week. This week is one of the cuts, Crocodile Black #2. I do think I'm going to end up revisiting this book in trades, but by not buying the single issue, I'm saving myself $5 this week. Now, next up on the pull list is Thundercats, issue #5. We ended the first arc with something really interesting happening. Like we had something happen in issue 1, and I was like, oh man, how are they going to fix that? They're obviously going to fix that because you can't have Thundercats without this thing. And they took that in a very different direction with issue 4. So that was something interesting. We got to see Lion-O sort of um, realize how his hubris kind of cost him, and just being young and in love, like how that cost him. And he's moving forward with a very brand new determination as of the end of issue 4, beginning of issue 5. But we've seen Mum-Ra's forces. We've seen the mutant king, the lizard king. Is it Slythe? I don't I don't remember people's names. The point is, Thundercats by Declan Shalvey and Drew Moss has still been really good, where I thought the nostalgia was going to wear off and I was just going to be like, I'm whatever on this. By the end of issue 4, I'm like, hey, let's see what happens. The stakes have been raised. Let's see how they're going to move forward in this new way. The world's about to get a lot bigger than their spaceship, and I'm excited for the start of the second story arc. Thundercats issue 5 is coming this week with a cover price of $4.99. Grabbing cover A. And last book on the indie pull list this week is Transformers, issue number 9. Transformers, written by Daniel Warren Johnson, art by Jorge Corona. And Transformers number 9, I don't remember what happened in issue 8. Don't go on vacation between comic book readings. Like, just don't. You're not going to remember anything that happened before your vacation. So I'm going to have to go back and read issue 8 again because I am so lost. I don't remember at all. I do know that what we've been getting is like just a bunch of new characters showing up, a bunch of characters showing up that you know from other media that I don't know at all because I'm not a big Transformers fan. What I've loved about Transformers so far is that it's got a lot of heart mixed with a lot of action. And that's honestly, that's the perfect recipe for a Kicks book. Give me a book with, great character development, high stakes, some emotional turmoil that resolves well, and give me action. Give me like beat 'em ups, bang, bang, like all that. And I'm going to love the book. So that's why Transformers are still on the pull list. Love the art, even as it's switched to Jorge Corona. Still really, really good. Transformers number 9 is out this week. The cover price is $3.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And that's it for the indies on the pull list this week. So if I stick to the list, those will cost me $18. Now, moving on to DC Comics, we've actually got the second book on the cut list, the chopping block this week. Again, I got to drop like 2 books a week to get my pull list down to respectable numbers. My budget's only $50 a week. So Next book that's getting dropped is Batman and Robin. Issue 10 is out this week. It's written by Josh Williamson, art by Simone DeMeo. I fell off this book very early. I think issue 4 was the last issue I read. And every time I'm like, okay, I'm going to go sit down and get caught up, there's some other book that I'm enjoying more that just captures my attention. This isn't really a reflection on how bad the book is because I've not read it to say it's bad. Damien's my favorite Robin. I love Joshua Williamson's character work with Robin over the last 3 years. This is just, there are a lot of books. Books are expensive, and this is probably the best my pull list has been since I started reading comics. Like, it feels like every book is a banger. And so this is just a sad casualty of the stack of shame. Batman and Robin issue 10. I'm just too far behind on this series to catch up before like it's available in trade or something. So I'll wait for that. Cover price on that's $4.99. Now save $5 by not buying it. Next up is Green Lantern issue number 12. Green Lantern written by Jeremy Adams with art by Hermonico. Or is it Zermonico? I don't know. I feel like the X should make a different sound. Anyway, Green Lantern number 12. This book has been really compelling. I'm not the biggest Hal Jordan fan. We kind of made that known in my review of issue 1. But Jeremy Adams just has a way of making you feel for characters. And this book is no different. Hal Jordan's kind of been brought through the ringer. He's lost people very close to him. He's lost a close friend. He's lost his love interest, or seemingly so. And, at the same time, he's also lost his place in the Corps. And he's been slowly finding his way back in all of those different ways. And so we've been seeing like the greater Corps, like Sojourner and Simon Baz and Kyle Rayner and a bunch of people. We're starting to see like where they are and what's been happening with them since the United Planets. We saw them try to, overthrow the evil leader of the United Planets. And we saw how that went. That's still ongoing, so we'll see how things go in this issue. But the main plot, the main thing that I'm looking at in this book to see, okay, will this make me eat my words about Hal Jordan, is how things are being resolved between him and Carol Ferris, aka Star Sapphire. Last issue, we got like a sort of flashback to when they were kids, and I don't like the dangerous bad boy trope. Like, I don't know. There's a thing that's implied where it's like Carol will never be happy with like the straight laced, safe guy that she's with. And the concern with that is like, when that's the thing, does the edgy bad boy, does he get the girl just because he's an edgy bad boy? Or does he learn something that makes him rise to the point where he's a decent enough person to like be suitable for this companionship? And that is probably going to be the final test to see how long I can like really stand Hal Jordan's character. Like, is he going to develop enough for me to be like, to kind of overlook some of my reservations about how the character is used traditionally? All that to say, I'm very much enjoying Green Lantern issue 12, and we'll see. We'll see if I have to eat my words about Hal Jordan. Cover price on this is $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A. Next up is Red Hood, The Hill, issue number 5. Red Hood, The Hill, written by Sean Martinborough, with art either by Sanford Green or Tony Akins. I believe Tony Akins is on this issue. Last issue, we were treated to Sanford Green on art, and he got to draw Batman returning to the Hill. So that was cool, except there wasn't as much action as I expected there would be with Batman showing up, which, to be fair, isn't the point of Red Hood, The Hill, or, anything that happened in the Hill as of, the last 30 years since it became a thing. But as we are learning more about how Corley is running the Hill with like a sort of supernatural flair, there definitely seems to be a thing where it's just like, we just wanted an excuse for Sanford Green to be able to draw like monsters. But I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all. Red Hood, The Hill, issue 5. One more issue till it wraps up. Cover price on this is $3.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And that's it for the DC books on the pull list. So those two, I saved $5 by cutting Batman and Robin. Those other two books will cost me $9 this week. And now we'll move over to Marvel Comics, where uh, you would think I'm the biggest Marvel fan in the world. They just have really great merchandising deals. I find Marvel attire out everywhere. I don't see DC stuff out very often. But anyway, let's start off things with a book that's kind of on the maybe list. I kind of retired the maybe list, but The Avengers is back on the pull list. Back Avengers issue 15. Now, this technically isn't on my pull list. I would have to grab it off the shelf at my local comic shop. But The Avengers issue 15 is out. It's written by Jed MacKay. This one's going to be a Blood Hunt tie-in. It's written by Jed MacKay with art by Carlos Villa, who I really like him on art. I liked him on Black Panther back when, that other dude was writing Black Panther. But anyway, Avengers got dropped from my pull list around issue 9. And then they just recently announced that with issue 17, Storm is going to be joining the Avengers. And I am absolutely here for Storm on the Avengers, and so I will absolutely buying this series, at least starting with issue 17. What I've not decided is if I'm going to go back and fill in the gaps between issue 9 and issue 17. So I don't know. Issue 15 out this week. I would need issue 16, then 17. I have 12 and 13 because they were Fall of X tie-ins. So I don't know. I can either just wait and pick it up starting at issue 17 and save a bunch of money, or I can commit to spending like another $20 to fill in all the gaps in the collection. We'll see what happens. But that one's got a cover price of $3.99. And if I buy it, I'm going to buy the cover A. So, they've got a Black Panther Scotty Young variant. I might end up buying that one instead, and that would just be a cover buy. Anyway, next up, speaking of Jed MacKay, is Blood Hunt issue number 3. Blood Hunt written by Jed MacKay, art by Pepe Larraz. It's vampires. I still don't particularly care about this event. It's fun, it's a good popcorn book. Vampires just don't do it for me in that way. And because of that, I'm not trying to buy a million tie-ins or whatever, but I've been entertained enough by the story. And Pepe Larraz on art has just been amazing. I feel like I said that 2 weeks ago. It's still the case. And so, hey, at least Pepe Larraz has drawn all 5 of these issues. Cover price on this one is $4.99. There is a subtle nod going on to Todd McFarlane. Oh, and apparently, I don't want to spoil things, but you can see from this cover, Miles Morales is clearly got something going on. And supposedly that change is going to stick even after this event is over. And I'm like, what does this mean for Cody Ziegler's Miles Morales? I guess we'll find out. Cover price on Blood Hunt issue 3 is $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A. Next up, speaking of Blood Hunt tie-ins, if you're reading a Marvel book, you are absolutely reading Blood Hunt. Just let me tell you. Next up is Fantastic Four issue number 21. Fantastic Four written by Ryan North. Let's see who's on art this time around. Art by Ivan Fiorelli. Nice. I like Ivan Fiorelli's art. But anyway, Fantastic Four issue 21, in which Reed Richards tries to find a cure for vampirism because, the 616 has been taken over by vampires. So, of course, will he find a cure? Probably not, because there's still 2 issues left of the main series and a million tie-ins left. But it'll be fun to see him try. Fantastic Four 21 issue cover price on this is $3.99. I'm grabbing cover A. Forgot to enter my memory card. Anyway, next on the pull list is Miles Morales Spider-Man issue 21. Again, if you're reading Marvel, you're reading the Blood Hunt, whether you like it or not. So, Miles Morales issue 21. This looks like it's supposed to be read before Blood Hunt number 3, just based on the covers. But as you know, Blade has been serving as a sort of mentor to Miles Morales Spider-Man. And so, as you can see, some things are happening with Miles this week that apparently are going to have some long-lasting ramifications. I'm hearing that whatever this change is may not be rectified at the end of Blood Hunt. It's going to just be a thing moving forward. And I'm like, what is that going to mean for Cody Ziegler's run on Spider-Man? So I'm excited to see what that means. Miles Morales Spider-Man issue 21 is out this week with a cover price of $3.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And next up on the pull list, and the last book on my Marvel pull list, is Ultimate X-Men issue number 4. Ultimate X-Men is written and drawn by Peach Momoko, and it's really good. It's been a slow burn. We are slowly meeting the mutants that are going to make up this new Ultimate X-Men team. But what has gotten me is the fact that these are young heroes. So last issue, we got the origin of Maystorm, and that was really cool. But we ended with a teaser of like, okay, so you got powers, you got powers, you got powers too. And they're like, oh, wait, you're a mutant? And so we're slowly like getting more and more mutants built into this. I'm excited by how this story arc is going. And I'm also excited that by the end of this story arc, I would assume we're going to know who our team of new X-Men are. And I just like the fact that they're kids. So far, 2 of them are kids. A third one is presumably a kid. And I'm down for this. Ultimate X-Men, issue number 4. Read slow through the 2 issues, but I don't know. If you're like me, I think you'll like it. Give it a chance. Cover price on it is $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A, and that's the last book on the Marvel pull list. So if I stick to the list, my Marvel books are going to cost me $22 this week. That sounds low. Did I count correctly? We got 10, another 8, and 4 is 22. Cool. Which means my grand total this week is just $49. I worked very hard to get that total under 50 for the week. And it is going to pain me to leave Batman and Robin issue 10 on the shelf. What I'm most likely going to do is not pick up Avengers issue 15 and instead pick up Batman and Robin issue 10 and then find some reason to justify staying on the pull list later on in the year. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Cover price on all of my books is $49 this week, and that is exciting. Now, there are a few new number ones on the radar. I'm probably not going to buy any of them because I'm already maxed out on the budget, but got to give shout outs to creators that I enjoy. So first up is My Little Pony Maritime Mysteries. Issue number 1 is written by Stephanie Williams, who's a friend of the channel, with art by Abigail Balmer. Now, this book is not like really something that would be in my wheelhouse. My youngest daughter is not quite old enough for My Little Pony, and my oldest daughter is too old for My Little Pony. So there's really no reason for me to buy this except that it's by a creator that I just enjoy. But basically, the little ponies are playing a board game. The board game sort of comes to life. So it's giving me kind of Jumanji vibes, but I'm assuming it's not like necessarily animal oriented. So cute little idea. It's going to run 4 issues. So if you're into that, check out issue 1 this week, out for $3.99. Next up, Godzilla, Skate or Die, number 1. This just looks fun. I'm not a big Godzilla fan. I'm not a big kaiju fan in general, but skateboarding teenagers, hey, seems fun. Cover or the art, the writing, and the cover are all by Louis Joyce, who is someone I'm not familiar with, but looks cool. Cover price on that one's $4.99 as well. X-Men, Heir of Apocalypse, issue 1 is out this week. This is basically the follow-up to the Krakoa era. If you read X-Men 35, then you know that Apocalypse is going to choose an heir, someone to keep fighting the battle there on Earth for all of mutantdom, and fighting against the X-Men if they have to. And so this is going to be like a sort of tournament, contest of champions, where Apocalypse is going to end up choosing who gets to represent him on Earth, since he's up in Arakko being king. If this was a one-shot, I would do it. I would pick it up, give me a 80-page oversized one-shot for like $7 or something, and I would have bought this book. Instead, it's issue 1 of a 4-issue miniseries, and I'm just tired of X-Men miniseries. I'm just going to hold the line until they reboot next month. From the Ashes will be my first new X-Men book after the Krakoa era. not this. But this is going to be a bridge between the two. So if you're interested in that, check it out. Cover price is $4.99. And the last book on my radar this week is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Usagi Yojimbo Saturday Morning Adventures. Now, the last time the TMNT and Usagi crossed over, it was the was it the No Good? The Evil Dr. No Good or something. I'm trying to remember the name of that series, but anyway, TMNT Usagi. It was in the Usagi universe. It was written and drawn by Stan Sakai. I really enjoyed it. This one takes place in the TMNT universe, and so, yeah, very cool stuff. We went to the Usagi land. Now we're back in New York in the animated universe, although they're going to be trying to go back to Usagi's world too. The point is, it's not going to be the same art style as the last one. It's going to be a more Saturday morning cartoons art style. And I, for one, enjoy that fact. For a lot of people, the reason they even know who Usagi is because he crossed over with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and showed up on that animated series. So to see him in this format, this is going to be fun. And looks exciting. Written by Eric Burnham, art by Jack Lawrence. Should be a treat. Cover price on it is $5.99. But yeah, I can't go over budget this week, so I'm not buying any of the on the radar books. I got to get ready for HeroesCon, which I'll be there Friday, Saturday, and at least part of the day Sunday. So if you're there, check me out. Let me know you're there. Hit me up on Twitter, IG, whichever, and hope to see you there. Till then, stay safe, stay awesome, and read something dope today. Peace.